Robert Hight's departure from John Force Racing in early 2025 was one of the most significant exits in recent NHRA history. He didn't simply retire from driving. He also stepped down as team president, walked away from an organization he had helped build for nearly 3 decades, and announced plans to pursue an entirely new career outside motorsports. Yet in 2026, speculation has emerged among NHRA fans about a surprising possibility. Could Hight somehow return to the sport through Bob Tasca III's racing operation? At this point, there is no evidence that such a move is happening. But the rumor is understandable when looking at the connections between Hight, Austin Prock, and the Tasca Racing organization. Hight's legacy with John Force Racing is substantial. During his career, he became a 3-time NHRA Funny Car champion and collected 65 national event victories. He also recorded a remarkable 3.793-second elapsed time during his decorated career. Beyond his accomplishments behind the wheel, Hight eventually became one of the key figures involved in the organization's management. He served as JFR team president beginning in January 2011, making his eventual departure much more significant than a conventional driver retirement. When Hight announced his decision, his message sounded like a genuine career transition rather than a temporary break. He explained that spending the 2024 season away from competition had given him time to reconsider his priorities, particularly his family and life beyond racing. That decision was followed by a move into the machining and manufacturing business in Utah. Rather than remaining closely connected to the NHRA paddock, Hight appeared to be fully committed to learning and building his new business. That is the biggest obstacle to the comeback rumors. Hight has not publicly indicated that he wants to return to NHRA competition or team management. There has also been no confirmed announcement connecting him with Tasca Racing. So, why does the rumor exist? One major reason is Austin Prock. Prock and Hight were JFR teammates during the 2023 and 2024 seasons. They shared the same organization, technical environment, and funny car program while competing at the highest level of NHRA racing. Their professional relationship is genuine, and Hight has spoken positively about Prock. When Prock eventually moved away from JFR and became the centerpiece of the Tasca Racing funny car operation, fans naturally began wondering whether another familiar JFR figure could eventually follow. There is another connection that makes the theory even more interesting. Former JFR personnel are already part of the Tasca operation. Jimmy Prock, who has a long history with John Force Racing and has worked closely with Hight during his career, is now involved with the Tasca program. That JFR connection has helped make Tasca Racing one of the organization's most closely watched by fans following the recent changes within the funny car landscape. But those connections should not be confused with evidence of an impending Hight move. Hight's expertise is valuable, particularly his experience as a championship-level driver and former team executive. However, Tasca Racing does not necessarily have an obvious position that matches Hight's current career direction. The organization's biggest on-track challenges in 2026 have involved consistency, traction, qualifying performance, and converting strong potential into complete race day results. Those problems primarily require technical and tuning solutions rather than the addition of a former team president. Jimmy Prock and the rest of the team's technical personnel are already responsible for addressing those issues. Could Hight theoretically return in an administrative or advisory role? Certainly. His experience would make him an interesting candidate for many organizations. But there is a major difference between something being possible and something being planned. As of now, there has been no official statement from Robert Hight, Bob Tasca III, Austin Prock, or Tasca Racing confirming that Hight is joining the organization. There is also no credible public report establishing that negotiations are taking place. What exists is a compelling fan theory built around several genuine connections. Hight's JFR history, his relationship with Prock, the presence of former JFR personnel at Tasca Racing, and the dramatic changes surrounding the funny car class. For NHRA fans, that combination is enough to create an exciting comeback story. But the reality is much simpler. Robert Hight appears focused on his new life and his manufacturing business in Utah. Austin Prock is focused on building his own legacy with Tasca Racing. And while the possibility of seeing Hight back in an NHRA funny car environment would undoubtedly attract enormous attention, there is currently nothing concrete showing that such a reunion is coming. For now, the Robert Hight to Tasca Racing story remains exactly that, a rumor. Until Hight or Tasca Racing says otherwise, fans should treat the speculation as an interesting possibility rather than a confirmed 2026 comeback.